Hello and welcome from wherever you are in the world today. Thank you for joining me. Thank you so much again for all the support that I've had. I think we hit 50 followers today, which is or 50 subscribers on YouTube, which is amazing. It's like 700 and whatever views. It's phenomenal. I never expected that kind of response. So I'm really grateful. Please keep liking, commenting on these videos. It really helps get the message out, and the whole purpose behind this channel is to try and help people, is to try and share a message of my understanding and things that have helped me, in order to help people who may be struggling or who are waking up to this stuff and need a little bit of guidance. And so I'm really grateful for that. So today I want to talk about something I have been wanting to talk about for a little while now. I think it's important, and it's important to me, and it's wanting and our wants and what we perceive our wants and our needs are, and I just haven't kind of got around to doing the video, but it feels right to do that today. So to start with, so we've all got wants. But if I was, for example, if I was a god of some kind, and I said to you, right, you can have anything you want, write a list, anything you want, and I'll give it to you. And you would write down, I want a car, I want a job, I want a house, or I might not a job, I want all this money, and all that stuff, all these material things. And the truth of it is that isn't what you want. The truth of it is what you want is what you perceive these things will give you. And I'm the same. I perceive that these things will give me, underneath it all is a level of freedom, some kind of level of freedom, joy, happiness, peace, and probably a sense of self as well. Sense of self within the things that I desire. If I have this, then I'll be successful, for example. But it's all kind of, all those things, all that external stuff, it's all short-lived. When it comes from external, it doesn't really give us what we want. Pleasure comes from the external, and pleasure is short-lived. Joy is what comes from within us. And that is, it's a long-term thing. That's permanence. That is where we have come from. That is, that's what we truly are, and that is what we're truly chasing. And what we're doing essentially is trying to change the outside, all the external stuff, all the outside world, to make us okay on the inside. If I have this, then I'll be okay. If I have this other house, then I'll be okay. If I have this car, I'll be okay. If I have this more money, I'll be okay. And that's kind of the sense of what we're really trying to do, is trying to fix ourselves on the inside by changing the outside, which is kind of a bit like, landscaping your garden, expecting it to change, how the house feels on the inside. It's not going to work. Or it might be when you're looking out the window, but you turn around and I don't know, the wallpaper's still hanging off the wall, and it hasn't done what it needs to do. And we perceive, the perceptions in this world, the way that we are, the way that social media plays, any media plays into our lives, and our perceptions of, the rich and the famous. We see all these people and we think, oh, I want what they've got. I want all this stuff, all this money, wouldn't that be amazing? Well, right, okay, but, having all that stuff just brings different problems. When I didn't have the same stuff as I have now, it's not like I'm any happier on the inside. It's just that I've got more stuff and different class of problems, for example. That's just an example. And you look at a celebrity, they've got this massive house, for example, and you or me would walk into it, oh my God, this house is amazing, but given time, it just wear off. How many times do you buy something new? For example, you get a new car and you're like 30, wow, it's a new car, I love it, blah, blah, blah. and that shine just kind of slowly, well, not shine wears off, it a bit slowly. It's the same car, but what we perceive it giving us wears off, and then over time, so, oh, well, you want the next thing. It's just not long term. And it's the same with that, if you were to get in this massive house that all these celebrities have, it's like, it just wear off, and then after a while, it just be that house you live in. It would become, it's not any less, materially, but our perception of it, our judgment of it, kind of fades away. It's the same when we watch an advert for something. Is it the product we desire, or do we, on some level, believe that having that product, whatever it may be, will give us kind of the traits and the characteristics of whatever's being portrayed in that advert? And that's essentially how advertising works. It's not right or wrong. It's just how that's what it plays into. It plays into the mind, and it plays into that perception that you'd get something. You're buying a lifestyle. And when we feel we need these things, where's that root? What is that coming from? Is it coming from, I'd like, it's a desire, I'd like it because just for the joy of, it's of wanting something, or is it because it's coming from somewhere else, and it's becoming from because we're looking for acceptance in the eyes of others, or to portray a certain stature? Why is it we want and need these things? And we've talked about it before. The mind is a veil in which we see the world. Things come in to our senses through our eyes, through our ears. All our senses and it comes through the mind, and we judge it and we label it, and that's how we're experienced. So everything's got a commentary. There's always, when we look at the mind, the mind's very focused in separation. It's always a competition. There's always a need for more. It's never satisfied. It always wants more. And when it gets that, it just wants, it's always a bit more. Essentially what addiction is, addiction is kind of like back to an extreme, needing that more to feel better. Change the way I feel by having something. I've got experience around that stuff, and it can take you to a really dark place. This is kind of the stuff that's really changed my life. But what if we remove that veil? What if we remove the way we see the world? How does it feel? What would the world look like? And we put aside that chitter chatter of the mind that tells us we need this and we need that and we want this and we want that, and especially in the Western world, does that feeling? What if we remove that? Would that feeling of mine, or that feeling of competition, or the feeling of lack, would that just disappear? If we take off those judgments and those, the mind's input, and to look at things as exactly how they are. Now, I'm not saying we shouldn't want or desire anything. I love new shiny things as much as the next person. I love to explore the kind of vibrance of this world. The abundant things we have. Actually, if you look and walk down a supermarket aisle, it's like, wow, look at all this choice we have. All this stuff that people have invented and brought to us, and there's like so much variety that we have, and that is truly is a spice of life, and that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is the attachment to it, and why we're wanting those things, where that want is coming from. And getting new things and manifesting things and buying things should come from a fun energy. When it comes from a lack or a sense of lack, or a sense of wanting and needing, it's very, very kind of heavy, dense energy around it, and it kind of, in my experience, kind of just doesn't do what it wants, and sometimes it makes it worse. Whereas when you come from a centered place, from a place there's no attachment and there's no need, there's no lack, it's this manifesting in from a very centered place. It comes from the soul. It's pure, it's fun. It's like, wouldn't it be lovely to have that? But it doesn't matter if I don't. Like, wouldn't that be fun? It's just, and that's kind of where I am now. It's kind of like, oh, it's just a fun kind of playful energy. You know, and if it comes, it comes, and if it goes, it goes. It's just, you know, you just kind of welcome it and wave it off if it goes. It's awesome. And, you know, peace and joy and all those things that we want, all those things that we truly want, that we think these external things will give us, we already have that within us, underneath the mind. That's what we truly are. Peace, joy, love. You know, and when we realise that, we're able to kind of, you know, flow with life, with the ebbs and flows of how life goes, and just let it be. And like I was saying, manifest from that pure place. And it's just fun. It's just joy, creation. It's just like, wow, like, it's just natural. That's our natural state. Now, if we lived like this, if we took away that judgment and that need for competition, you know, greed and lack would be gone. You wouldn't have, you know, 1% of the population having 99% of the wealth or whatever the distribution is. I can't remember exactly, but, you know, you wouldn't have poverty. We wouldn't have, you know, third world countries struggling for food when Western countries, you know, have more than they need. It would, you know, abundance. It would come to everyone who would share it. And the truth is, you know, we have all these wants, but there's two things that happen when that want comes from need or lack. The first thing is, the first option is, we get what we want, and then it's kind of like, it's either what next, or we fear losing it, and then we're back in negativity, or we don't get what we want, and it's that sense of lack, a constant sense of lack. It doesn't go away, and either way we're kind of in negative state. When you realise you're whole, when you realise as a soul you're everything you need to be, everything you could be, and you're complete without anything. You don't need anything external. It's just freeing, you know, that freedom. We just come together as a planet, you know. We would come together in kindness, you know, in sharing, and raise the whole planet, because there wouldn't be that sense of mine, that sense of you and me. It would just be us and ours. But that change begins within. You know, that change begins with the stuff I've been talking about, you know, disidentifying with the mind, realising that, you know, 1, you're not your mind. 2, you don't have to pay attention to or believe what the mind's telling you. And 3 is just focus on what's here and now. Focus on what's present, you know, what is in front of you. And that's kind of where my focus has been. That's where a lot of my peace and my joy has come from, is that I don't need anything. I am perfect the way I am. I don't need someone to make me happy. I don't need the things to make me happy. I'm so happy exactly as I am. And a lot of other people that I know are on this journey as well, is that's the experience they have as well. You know, when you get out of that energy of the mind and into the soul, it's just like, I am everything I need, you know. And if these new stuff comes, great. And if it doesn't come, great. Like, seriously, it's just amazing. So yeah, and I guess this video is all about food for thought for people, and to look at where that wanting and that needing has come from, and maybe put new perspective on it, new perspective on what you have and what you need and what you want. So anyway, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you very much for all the likes and subscribes and the sharing. It's just been phenomenal, and I'm so over the moon. And I'm just going to keep putting out more videos for you and thoughts and information, and I hope you enjoy it. So I'll see you again soon. Thank you.